The Grashoff number is defined as the ratio of the A. buoyancy to inertial forces, B. buoyancy to viscous forces, C. inertial to viscous forces, D. buoyancy to surface tension forces. The correct answer is buoyancy to viscous forces. According to Reynolds analogy, Stanton number is equal to where F fanning friction factor, A to F, B F, C F2, D F4. The correct answer is F2. The absorptivity of a body is equal to its emissivity, A at a particular temperature, B for circular bodies, C under thermal equilibrium, D none of these. The correct answer is under thermal equilibrium. Absorptivity and reflectivity of a perfect black body are respectively A1 and 0, B0 and 1, C1 and D0 and 0.5. The correct answer is 1 and 0. In thermal radiation for a black body, where is emissivity and is absorptivity? A11, B11, C11, D11. The correct answer is 11. Pick out the wrong statement. A. Superheated steam is preferably not used for process heating because of its low heat transfer film coefficient. B. In a shell and tube heat exchanger, the shell pressure drop is maximum for orifice baffles. C. SI unit of fouling factor is what? M2. K. D. Longitudinal fins are used in extended surface heat exchangers when the direction of fluid flow is parallel to the axis of the tube. The correct answer is SI unit of fouling factor is what? M2. K. When warm and cold liquids are mixed, the heat transfer is mainly by A. conduction, B. convection, C. radiation, D. both. C. The correct answer is convection. A cube, sphere, a thin circular plate, all having same mass and made of same material, are all heated to 300 C and allowed to cool in natural air. Which one will cool the slowest? A. cube, B. plate, C. sphere, D. all will cool at the same rate. The correct answer is sphere. Vent pipes are provided in a condenser to A. remove non-condensable gases, B. purge the condenser, C. facilitate easy cleaning of tubes, D. none of these. The correct answer is remove non-condensable gases. Heat transfer by natural convection is enhanced in system with A. high viscosity, B. high coefficient of thermal expansion, C. low temperature gradients, D. low density change with temperature. The correct answer is high coefficient of thermal expansion. In case of boiling, the bubbles formed on a submerged hot surface get absorbed in the mass of the liquid. A. nucleate, B. pool, C. low pressure, D. none of these. The correct answer is pool. A body cools down from 75 C to 70 C in 10 minutes. It will cool down from 70 C to 65 C in minutes. A. 10, B. 10, C. 10, D. either B or C depends on the mass of the body. The correct answer is 10. In forced convection, the Nusselt number is a function of A. Re and PR, B. Re and GR, C. PR and GR, D. Re and SC. The correct answer is Re and PR. At what value of Prandtl number the hydrodynamic and thermal boundary layers are identical? A. 0.5, B. 1, C. 1.5, D. 80. The correct answer is 1. A dilute aqueous solution is to be concentrated in an evaporator system. High pressure steam is available. Multiple effect evaporator system is employed because A. Total heat transfer area of all the effects is less than that in a single effect evaporator system. B. Total amount of vapor produced per kg of feed steam in a multiple effect system is much higher than in a single effect. C. Boiling point elevation in a single effect system is much higher than that in any effect in a multi-effect system. D. Heat transfer coefficient in a single effect is much lower than that in any effect in a multi-effect system. The correct answer is total amount of vapor produced per kg of feed steam in a multiple effect system is much higher than in a single effect. Heat transfer efficiency leading of energy conservation in a heat exchanger can be achieved by A. Keeping the heat transfer surface clean. B. Enhancing the fluid pumping rate. C. Increasing the tube length. D. None of these. The correct answer is keeping the heat transfer surface clean. Trap is used to remove from steam pipelines. A. Steam. B. Condensate. C. Non-condensables. D. None of these. The correct answer is condensate. A composite flat wall of a furnace is made of two materials A and B. The thermal conductivity of A is twice of that of material B while the thickness of layer of A is half that of B. If the temperature at the two sides of the wall are 400 and 1200 K, then the temperature drop in K across the layer of material A is A. 125, B. 133, C. 150, D. 160. The correct answer is 160. Tube pitch is the of tube diameters and the clearances. A. Sum. B. Difference. C. Ratio. D. None of these. The correct answer is sum. With increase in the distance between the heat source and the object receiving the heat, the radiation heat transfer A. decreases. B. increases. C. increases exponentially. D. remains unaffected. The correct answer is decreases. The equivalent diameter for the annulus of a double pipe heat exchanger whose inner pipe has fins on the outside is compared to the same size pipes without fins. A. more. B. less. C. same. D. unpredictable. The correct answer is less. Natural convection is characterized by A. Grashoff number. B. Plat number. C. Reynolds number. D. Prandtl number. The correct answer is Grashoff number. Nusselt number for full developed laminar constant property flow in a pipe at uniform heat flux is A. 0.72, B. 4.364, C. 18, D. 83. The correct answer is 4.364. Thickness of thermal boundary layer is more compared to that of hydrodynamic boundary layer when the value of Prandtl number is A1, B1, C1, D5. The correct answer is 1. The critical radius of insulation for cylindrical pipe is where Hi heat transfer coefficient at inside of the pipe. A. KH0, B2 KH0, CHIK, D2 HIK. The correct answer is KH0. The heat flux in the nucleate boiling regimes is proportional to where T excess temperature. A. T2, BT4, CT3, DT. The correct answer is T3. In a 1-1 co-current heat exchanger, if the tube side fluid outlet temperature is equal to the shell side fluid outlet temperature, then the LMTD is A. B0, C equal to the difference between hot and cold fluids inlet temperature, D equal to the difference between hot fluid inlet temperature and cold fluid outlet temperature. The correct answer is 0. A body is called gray if the monochromatic emissivity of the body is A. 0. B. Unity. C. Same for all wavelengths. D. Different for all wavelengths. The correct answer is same for all wavelengths. In an extended surface heat exchanger fluid having lower coefficient, A flows through the tube. B flows outside the tubes. C can flow either inside or outside the tubes. D should not be used as it gives very high pressure drop. The correct answer is flows outside the tubes. In a shell and tube heat exchanger, the tube side heat transfer coefficient just at the entrance of the tube is A infinity, B 0, C same as average heat transfer coefficient for tube side, D none of these. The correct answer is infinity. Grashoff number, which is defined as G TST2 L32, is proportional to the ratio of buoyancy force to force. A. Viscous, B. Elastic, C. Inertial, D. None of these. The correct answer is viscous. Pick out the wrong statement. A. By increasing the number of shell passes, the temperature cross in a shell and tube heat exchanger can be prevented. B. An underdesigned steam trap will back up the condensate instead of discharging it out. C. Steam condensate is corrosive because of the presence of dissolved oxygen in it. D. Film boiling is desirable in commercial equipments due to high heat transfer rate at low temperature drop. The correct answer is film boiling is desirable in commercial equipments due to high heat transfer rate at low temperature drop. For a cold dilute feed to produce thick viscous liquor, backward feeding as compared to forward feeding results in A. Increased economy, B. Decreased economy, C. Lower capacity, D. No effect on economy. The correct answer is increased economy. Economy of an evaporator is influenced by the A. Steam pressure, B. Feed temperature, C. Number of effect, D. Both of C. The correct answer is both of C. If the thermal conductivity of a wall material is independent of temperature, the steady-state temperature distribution in the very large thin plane wall having steady uniform surface temperature follows law. A. Hyperbolic, B. Parabolic, C. Linear, D. Logarithmic. The correct answer is linear. In regenerative air preheater, as practiced in heating of coke ovens, the heat is transferred A. through a metallic wall, B. by direct contact of hot flue gas with air, C. by heating an intermediate material like checker bricks and then heating the air from this hot material, D. None of these. The correct answer is by heating an intermediate material like checker bricks and then heating the air from this hot material. Equation relates the thermal conductivity of a solid to its temperature. A. Antony, B. Copes, C. Lees, D. Kistiakowski. The correct answer is Lees. For small temperature difference, the heat transfer rate as per Newton's law of cooling is proportional to where T excess temperature, A. T, B. T2, C. T3, D. T. The correct answer is T. Pick out the wrong statement. The condensing film coefficient is about 3 times lower for vertical condenser as compared to the equivalent horizontal condenser for identical situation. B. Film coefficient for vaporization decreases as a result of vapor binding. C. In industrial practice, subcooling of condensate is required when the condensate is a volatile liquid and is to be transferred for storage. The overall heat transfer coefficient in a heat exchanger is controlled by the value of the film coefficient, which is higher. The correct answer is Overall heat transfer coefficient in a heat exchanger is controlled by the value of the film coefficient, which is higher. Viscous heat-sensitive liquids are concentrated in evaporators. A. Open pan. B. Long tube. C. Agitated film. D. None of these. The correct answer is agitated film. 1 BTU hr.ft.F is equal to cul hr. MC. A. 1.49. B. 1. C. 4.88. D. None of these. The correct answer is 1.49. Heat transfer by radiation between two bodies at T1 T2 and in an ambient temperature of TAC depends on A. T1 T2, B. T1 TA, C. T2 TA, D. None of these. The correct answer is none of these. The ratio of momentum diffusivity to thermal diffusivity is the number A. Prandtl, B. Nusselt, C. Stanton, D. Grashoff. The correct answer is Prandtl. For a perfectly transparent surface like gases, the A. Absorptivity 0, B. Transmissivity 1, C. Reflectivity 0, D. All ABC. The correct answer is transmissivity 1. For a fluid flowing in an annulus space, the wetted perimeter for heat transfer and pressure drop are A. Same, B. Different, C. Never different, D. Linearly related. The correct answer is different. During crystallization, formation of crystal can occur in solution only. A. Saturated, B. Supersaturated, C. Undersaturated, D. All A, B, and C. The correct answer is supersaturated. An evaporator, while concentrating an aqueous solution from 10 to 40 solids, evaporates 30,000 kilograms of water. The amount of solids handled by the system in kg is A. 4,000, B. 9,000, C. 4,600, D. 3,000. The correct answer is 4,000. An insulator should have A. Low thermal conductivity, B. High thermal conductivity, C. Less resistance to heat flow, D. A porous structure. The correct answer is low thermal conductivity. In a backward feed multiple effect evaporator, A. Feed is introduced in the first effect, B. Feed flows from low pressure to high pressure, C. No pumps are required between successive effects, D. None of these. The correct answer is feed flows from low pressure to high pressure.